So Kev's come up and we're just doing the final arrangements now before Kev disappears over to Kenya. Well, hopefully not exactly disappears. My insurance doesn't cover him for that. But Kev manages the Desert Ways side of the business, and we just now need to nail the last few bits and bobs for it. So we got a few things to talk about just to make sure that everything's going to be nice and safe, and Kev and Martin get back in one piece.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key one is customer safety when we're out there.
Yeah.
So we need to, obviously assess each environment we're in. We're different locations if we're going to be in, because I think we go to 2 different villages.
Yeah.
So both we need to ascertain what risks are there and whether we've got the means to deal with them. I mean,
do you reckon it's worth taking risk assessment forms to do it while you're out there, or just take some notes and some photographs and then do a full risk?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think we'll take some notes, plenty of pictures. I'm going to get plenty of spare memory cards and stuff, and make sure we get loads of good, decent pictures, both for marketing and also for our records.
Cool.
So that's the key one. I mean, they might be happy to cross the Masai Mara with nothing but a spear.
Yeah.
I'd probably want a sort of fairly high calibre rifle. Yeah. If we're taking a group of people out there.
Yeah,
and we need to look at the cost of actually hiring an armed guide if we are going to do foot safaris or anything like that while we're out there.
Yeah. We need to find a supplier so that we can do the tented village outside of the village as well. So, man with a gun, tented village, and then there ain't going to be water supplies or anything like that.
No, so we're going to have to bring in jerry cans and source them and get all that in there as well.
To Daniel about, has he got people and transport that can almost resupply us every couple of days or something?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a hotel within a reasonable distance from where we're staying. Yeah. Which means that they can go on a daily basis and get water at the very least there. Yeah. I mean, but I'm very keen that when we actually operate the trip proper, we are an integral part of village life, and that we don't. I mean, I know we don't want to deplete any of their resources, but we want, even if it means us buying cattle in or something, I'd rather live their lifestyle and let the customs experience their way of life than living completely separate. To it. Certainly, we need to be sharing some meals with them.
Definitely. I mean, I think one night at least where they actually stay in the homes with them. But I think more than that would be too much.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's very, very much of a culture shock for a lot of people. And even camping in the village. And the other thing is where traditionally the Maasai villages have the corral, the acacia thorns around them to protect the livestock and the people from lions and other predators and stuff. We need to ascertain where they plan on putting our tented village. Is it within that, or are they going to make a separate corral? Actually, participating in the manufacture of that around our thing would be a fantastic experience. I think.
I like that idea.
So that's something we can look into as well.
Yeah.
So really, safety is primary aim. Making sure that we're happy with the safety as far as we can be. Yeah. But then also it's the sourcing of what we're going to need. So it's going to basically be tents. I think people can bring their own sleeping bags and roll mats and stuff. So I think we can provide tents. I mean, if we can't source them there, we'll get them in advance in the UK and ship them out.
You take your GPS so that you can GPS the locations in case we have to carry back somebody else.
Make sure all that's done.
And get the address of the nearest medical facilities and what stage those medical facilities are at.
And also I need to, I can ascertain whether we got a mobile signal out there, or whether I can get a Kenyan SIM while I'm out there and see if if that has a signal, whether I log on to on my phone. If not, we need to be looking at satellite phones and stuff possibly for the trip. Cool. I think, and it's general things like cooking materials.
Yeah,
cooking pots and that sort of stuff. But I think in Africa we'll be able to get those fairly cheap and cheerful.
And speak to him, you know, can we store it out there with him? You know, has he got somewhere to store it once we've bought it?
Or if we buy a couple of big cooking pots, we use them for then we donate
give
them to
them back
the
to the village afterwards. That's probably a better idea.
Yeah, because they will use them, you know. So
and if not, they'll sell them. You know.
Yeah, that's it. And that, you know, we're putting into the community in that way, aren't we?
Yeah.
As well as, you know,
where's it go?
Paying, so.
I'm going to Kenya. Bad taste, isn't it? Cool. So transfer the money into your account. Scenarios.
Where we get a feel for where we are, really.
Yeah, fair play. And from my perspective as well, at least I will know where you're going to be at what time.
Yeah.
Well. So okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll drop it.
I mean, I'm quite keen. Personally, on the recce, you know, if we, I'm quite happy to one or all of the nights sleep in the village, and save the transport back and forth. Save that. Sure. No, you know, it's always tricky to plan a trip until you get out there. You've got to get the boots on the ground and just see what it's like when we get there, and you know, just think on your feet really and make judgment calls when we need to.
Cool. And have I got your flight details?
No, probably not. No, I'll email you a copy of the itinerary.
And Martin's going out on the same flight and coming back on the same. No, he's coming back on a different flight.
He's coming. Only the bit from Amsterdam back to. He's coming back to London City, and I'm coming back to Heathrow.
So you're leaving him in Amsterdam.
Could be interesting. Yeah.
Martin stranded in Amsterdam.
I'll just make sure he's wearing his blue tourist hat.
And then in terms of payments, you've got Daniel, his daily rate to pay. And then
those other ones that he's on.
He suggested take some sugar for the villages rather than actually giving them a physical payment on this go round. When we
buy that out there, obviously. Buy that in
there's no point in
you
20 kilos.
It could cause some interest at customs. It's a big bag of white powder.
Where you come from? Amsterdam.
Is there a problem?
Martin maybe put it in there.
No, actually it's going in Martin's bag.
He suggested take some sugar. For the villages for this time round, and then when we take the customers in, we'll then give them a visit.
Absolutely, no, that's fine. I mean, I think that if the memory serves me right, he's talking about £35 a night for a hotel room. But that's bound to be a twin room, so we might share that. I didn't quite see whether the vehicle was a daily rate, was it £50 a day, or was it a one-off?
It better not be 50 quid a day. But in the village. And then I suppose the other thing to do is to start the talks with Daniel about some form of social enterprise thing, you know, how can we put the money into the village or
school or building or whatever it might be.
His frustrations when he was here last year was that people pay them just to go and do their dance, but they don't really understand what it's all about and understand the Maasai story and the traditions behind the dress and all of this kind of stuff. You know, how much does it cost to bring them over here and put together a programme?
Wherever the globe stops, we're going.
Can't you get a little model plane going?
That's going on.